Hi, and welcome back to Talking About Success. I'm your host, Jack Canfield. If you just joined us, I'm the often referred to as America's #1 success coach, the author of the Success Principles, and also the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, and Canfield Training Group. I'm the founder and chairman of that, doing seminars all over the world. But more importantly, today I have a wonderful guest that's flown in all the way from Australia, Myia, and she is an amazing hypnotherapist, a transformational trainer and coach, and just helping people transform their lives all over the place. And I have found great support in having a hypnotherapist in my life. So I'm really excited to learn more about you and the work you're doing. I think it's really great. So, and you have a new book out too. We'll talk about that as well.
Yes, I do.
Very good, very good. So let's just start by getting some background. Tell us who you are and what you do and how you got into what you do.
Well, thank you. And it's wonderful to be here in Santa Barbara and to meet you. You've been an absolute idol for me, an icon. And I watched you in The Secret. And from that moment on, it was just so exciting learning about how the mind works. But what brought me on this journey, Jack, was years ago, I was a single mum and I was in a very dark place. I was surrounded by toxic relationships and I didn't have a career or a purpose. And I went to see a hypnotherapist and it changed my life dramatically. From that moment on, my life just did a complete circle, and I realized, and she had shown me, that I had actually been creating and manifesting all this bad toxic energy because I was in very much victim mode and my story was about doom and gloom. And I realized I could now change my life, transform my life. And so I decided it was my passion and my purpose to learn as much as I possibly could about how the mind works, so then I could help other people transform their lives. Because my life initially was darkness and negativity, and then now my life is just amazing. So because of my transformation, I realized it was my absolute purpose to help others globally, all around the world, to transform their lives, to dream big and to make it happen. So hypnotherapy, transformation coaching, to me is the key to change people's lives, and I want to help as many people as possible.
So I'm not sure everyone knows what hypnotherapy is. Could you just talk about that for a minute?
Hypnotherapy is using the subconscious mind, because we've got conscious mind, which is 5%, and then 95% of our mind is our subconscious. So with hypnotherapy, what we do is we go to the subconscious mind, because what our programming and our beliefs are is embedded in the subconscious mind. So people wouldn't know consciously what is holding them back, if they're feeling stuck or if they're feeling lack of confidence. And the majority of people, they are coming under the umbrella of I'm not enough. It's that I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not intelligent enough. And the only way we can change that I'm not enoughness is by going into the subconscious. And that's what hypnosis does. And the actual therapy that I use is called rapid transformational therapy. So it usually only takes 2 sessions, and we go into hypnosis, we go into the regression, and it's always something that's happened in their childhood that has locked this I'm not enough, set that belief. It's like dropping a negative seed. And from then on, their life, they look through the lens of I'm not good enough, people judge, people criticize, and until we change that, their life is going to, be around this negative energy. Everyone should know that change is possible, that the more we look for and learn and become aware of how the mind works by coming to see a hypnotherapist or a coach, then we can actually change it. We can rewire, we can reprogram at that deep subconscious level. So,
what's interesting about I'm not good enough. When I was in graduate school, which was a lot of years ago, I had a professor, and he said that everybody has a core crusher statement, which is I'm not blank enough. He said, fill in the blank. It's always there. And then you mentioned the imposter syndrome. We go around trying to pretend that we're the thing we think we're not in order to get by. And then if someone does like us, we think they only like our act, not who we really are, and you're stuck. You can never win that game.
No, exactly.
Now, you mentioned on your website there's a lot of life-changing, those kind of statements.
Yeah.
Can you share an example of somebody that you worked with that had a life-changing experience?
Well, one of my favorite stories, Jack, is this lady who came to me. She'd actually seen me doing a law of attraction workshop.
Mm-hmm.
So she was listening, and then after I finished with the workshop, she came up to me and she said, "Ma, I would love to work with you." She said, "I know that there's something in my mindset that is causing or triggering this illness." And she had a life-threatening illness. So she also said she wanted to change career, she wanted to make more money, and also she wanted to do much more traveling. And she wanted to feel more relaxed and calm, because when she came to me, she was like very anxious and very stressed. So I said, "Yes, I'd love to work with you." And after the first session, when she came in to me for the second session, this is over 3 months, 3 sessions, and she said to me, "Myia, I've got the most amazing job where I work and travel all around the world." I went, "Yes." I said, "Well, that's a great start." And she said, "I'm starting to feel much more relaxed and happy." And by the third session, she said to me, "I've just had a clean bill of health from doctors, hospitals, all the tests, that I've now been cleared of this life-threatening illness." And for me, and it's funny, the law of attraction, I was thinking about her just before I came here to make sure her health was still good. This is like 2.5 years ago. And I saw her in a shop just out of the blue, and I said to her, "How is your health?" And she said, "Myia, it's just perfect." She said, "Thank you so much for changing my life, my happiness, my family, my friends. It's just made a huge, huge difference." So for me, hearing things like that, and on my website, there's just so many testimonials, and I just feel very blessed to have been a part of that.
Now, you mentioned, as we were talking earlier, about this even has an effect in utero. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. With the clients, they will sometimes go back to, because I'll regress them in hypnosis, and sometimes they will go back to hearing what was happening while they are in the womb.
So they have a memory of hearing something while they're still in their mother's womb.
Because their 2 senses of hearing and feeling are the strongest. So I've had them going back to and remembering hearing their parents fighting about not having enough money, not being able to afford to have a baby. We don't want to have a baby because we can't afford it. So when they come into the world, they have this belief that's been locked into their subconscious already, that I'm a burden, I'm not even good enough to be here, and people reject, people don't want me here. So it's just amazing. And for me, I would like to help, pregnant mothers, and let them be aware and understand how such an impact it is for what the pregnant mother is feeling. So for them to be doing things like, yoga and meditation, and making sure that their environment is happy, positive and loving, and for them to, nurture and to speak to the baby, and to have, beautiful calming music around them, because that is making such an impact already. So, and sometimes people have gone back to past lives as well, which is really quite amazing.
Interesting. Yeah, I've actually had that experience in my own life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
I
that's
have.
so
Yeah,
cool.
It's fascinating. Well, we don't need to go into that here, but yes, I totally believe in that. I read a study at UCLA, it was done, where they they had a mother take a script, just like I'm holding here, and say, "I really don't want this baby, we don't have time for it, can't afford it." And the heartbeat of the baby would slow down. like it didn't want to live.
Yeah.
And then they had the same mother, just, maybe 10 minutes later, oh, I'm really excited about this baby. And up in utero heartbeat would like start to go faster.
Yeah.
So the baby is experiencing a result of the thoughts and feelings of the mother.
Absolutely. And as we know with that lemon test, your physiology changed. You started having saliva in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's happening down here
if
in the womb, as well as, illnesses, if we're projecting worst case scenario and, being our inner critic. And so much of my work is with what thoughts are you having? And they'll be telling me their inner critic thoughts, in a mean girl or in a mean guy, of, well, I'm stupid, they're not going to like me, I don't fit in here, or I'm fat, or I hate being a salesperson, they're going to think that I'm trying to pull the wool over their eyes. And that's being dropping into the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas just turning it and reversing it, doing the polar opposite, saying the polar opposite of, I'm wanting to share this wonderful product. It's going to help them. It's going to improve their lives. I love this baby. My baby is just so wanted. I am an abundant person. The universe has my back. Abundance surrounds me, as opposed to, I can't afford this. I haven't got enough money. I'm never going to have enough money. So we can change things with the words that we use, and the pictures and the images. And I know that you're huge into creative visualization.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so powerful.
Totally.
So powerful. Yeah.
Totally. So a lot of people, I'm just going to speak for the people I think that are out there and ask you this question. I'm afraid of hypnosis. I don't like being out of control. What if I can't be hypnotized? How do you answer those questions if people were thinking of working with you?
Well, the thing with hypnosis is we actually go into a natural trance during the day. Like if we drive from A to B and we get to B and think, oh, how did I get there?
I've had that experience.
Yeah, that's a natural trance. Sure. Or if we're engrossed in a movie or a TV screen or a book, it's that focused absorption. They are natural trances. So with me, what I do is get them into that alpha theta state of just being completely relaxed. And I can never say or do anything with the subconscious of another person that subconscious, it won't allow anything negative.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot get them to do anything. And what I do is I take a big amount of notes, knowing what the outcome is, what is their destination, what's the goals that they want to achieve. So when I do the clearing and the transforming and the healing with the regression, then I will implant all the beautiful new positive things that they have in their own words told me that that's what they want, what they want to attract, whether it be a new career or better health or relationships. Then that's when we implant. So it's nothing to be scared of. It's just a beautiful, relaxing, natural trance-like feeling. And yeah.
So let me ask you a question. I've heard someone once say, you don't want to put a smiley face on top of your gas gauge which says empty. Meaning that smiling thing isn't going to necessarily make the car run because there's no gas in it. And it was a metaphor of saying you don't necessarily want to input the positive until you've cleared the negative.
Absolutely.
So talk about that, because I think a lot of people are trying to program themselves with all kinds of positive things, but if you don't clear the negative out first, it doesn't really Velcro.
No, exactly.
Talk about that.
Well, the willpower is in our conscious mind, and that's that 5%. So no matter how much you might be thinking, well, I must do this, or I should do that, or I need to exercise more, if we have the belief in the subconscious, which is the 95%, which is where all our beliefs and all our programming is running, which is running the show, if our belief system is you're not good enough to be whatever it is that you want to achieve, no matter what you're doing with the willpower, the conscious mind, that's not going to work. So when we clear that self-sabotage, the self-limiting thought patterns and behaviors and programming and wiring, because something has hardwired into them the belief of I'm not good enough, or this isn't possible, or this isn't available. Love isn't available, money isn't available, security isn't available. These programs are running, then they can't move forward. But the work that I do, we go, and that's why it's called rapid transformational therapy. In that first session, we go into the regression, we go to the childhood traumas or experiences, and it could sometimes just be one thing, but majority of time it's something that a parent has said or a teacher. A father
or a teacher.
Yeah, a father could have said, what are you doing that for? You're useless, or you're stupid. Or a mother could have said, why aren't you as good as your older brother? They always get it right. Or with a teacher, and so many stories that are heartbreaking, a teacher has got someone up in front of the blackboard and said, okay, Jack, write such and such. And if Jack hasn't written the correct word, spelt it properly, then the teacher will humiliate and berate that child. And then I'll always ask, so what was the reaction and the response from the class, your colleagues? And they'll say, well, they all laughed. So they've been humiliated by a person of authority, the teacher, as well as, so from then on, the seed has been planted that people judge, people criticize, I'm not good enough and I'm different. People don't accept me. So then they live their life through the lens of expecting people to judge and people to criticize, and that's what's going on in their mind, which is the beautiful thing is we can change that.
Now you've written a book. It's called Gratitude and Success Journal. I like the color and the cover. It's very nice.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What inspired you to write this book?
Well, with my clients, with the people that I work with, the groups and the seminars and health retreats, I always say to them there's three things to help with your mind, body and spirituality, healthness and wellness, is yoga, meditation and gratitude. And so I wanted to recommend a book for my clients to get for gratitude, to start the journaling. And I couldn't find one that I was happy with. So that's what made me create and publish that one. It just trains the mind, focuses the mind on gratitude.
I had a college professor once said, if you're looking for a book and you can't find it means you're supposed to write it.
That's it.
So you did.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good for you.
That's what drove me to it. And yeah, I'm really proud of it.
So if you had one main message for our viewers today, what would it be?
It would be to be your inner cheerleader and to know and be aware that the thoughts that you have, the images that you project into your mind actually create your reality. And knowing that if you're feeling that not enoughness or not feeling confident or nothing is possible for you, know from my journey and my story that anything is possible. The more you put your attention on what it is that you do want to achieve, be your inner cheerleader, release that inner critic, then anything is possible.
I love it. Now, if people want to get a hold of your book, if they want to work with you, I assume individually, also in workshops, where do they go? How do they find you?
On my website, mindmotivationcoaching.com, and you can buy my book on Amazon books, Barnes & Noble and Book Depository, as well as through my website.
Perfect. Well, I wish I lived closer. I'd want to do a session just to find out what would happen.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, but anyway, really good work. Thank you so much. I know what you're doing is phenomenal. Keep it up. We're soul brothers and sisters in the sense that we both teach a lot of the same things, and I'm glad that you're doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. All right, you know where to go, and great book, and encourage you to work with Myia here. She's obviously, I can tell from just talking to you, you know what you're doing. So thank you very much for joining us this week. We'll see you next week. Until then, just keep raising your consciousness, doing the work to get rid of the blocks that are blocking you, like we just talked about here, and pursuing your dreams, because you deserve to have the life that you want.